Hi guys, Susan Modest here. I am so grateful and so thankful that you're spending this time with me to learn about generating a six-figure income using free social media strategy. I congratulate you for giving of your most important asset, which is of course time, to learn strategies that are going to take your business to the next level. These are strategies that you can begin implementing today, and you can start seeing results as soon as a couple of hours, and definitely for the rest of your time in this industry. This is not to say that these are the only strategies by any means, but this is going to be a simple, laid out plan for you to generate the leads that you need to be able to take your business to the next level. And for many of us, the next level is that six-figure income. And once we learn those strategies to get to six figures, it is nothing to scale up, because at that point, you're in a position to scale up, and literally the sky is the limit. I'm so thankful, and we are in such a great time in the industry, in the information and communication age, that we can use these, and we have them at this point. They're free strategies at our fingertips that we can use and we can begin implementing. So just to tell you a little bit about me, some of you guys are friends with me on Facebook, and if you're not, please do connect with me. I love to meet new people, and I am very responsive, so please do connect with me on Facebook, and I'll give you some information about how to do that at the end of the presentation. But a little bit about me. First of all, this presentation that I've put together here shows a lot of elements about me and the way that I think. You can see my background is water. I think that water holds a special meaning. It has a special energy. And there's been experiments about the energy that is can be transmitted and is reflected in water and water crystals. And that's not the topic of our webinar today, but it's just powerful for me. So I hope that you find it soothing, but at the same time energizing, because I do. And so about me, who I am. First of all, I am is a very important statement. So again, another little tidbit, another little tip. I am a very, very important statement. So who I am. I am PhD educated in general psychology. So as you follow my posts, you're probably going to see threads of psychology all through it. It seems like, now it's just a part of me, but I think really all of us are psychologists, aren't we? All of us understand a little bit about human behavior without even having formally studied it. And that really comes in handy when it comes to business, because in business, you're doing business with people who have certain behaviors. And if you can really understand that, then you're able to use that psychology to really resonate with them and to really connect. So that's where you'll see a lot of my psychology coming out, and I'm sure I'll see a lot of yours. Now, in my adult life, I have always worked in some kind of helper-based work. I was at one point a victim advocate for domestic violence victims. Then I became a mental health therapist. I worked with troubled youth, and I actually did therapy sessions with them. And then for many years, actually about 12 years, I was a high school guidance counselor, working with kids, something that I love. Doing a lot of paperwork, not so much. It really took away the creativity, and it even took away a lot from me being able to help people and help the kids that I had gone into the field to be able to affect. But I've been able to find my niche, so to speak, still helping people outside of education and outside of really any kind of institution. And so I'm loving that, but I'll get there. I started network marketing in 2010. Why did I do that? Like everybody else, I was trying to make a little bit more money, especially when you're in education. As you know, educators don't get paid very much. They really get paid in the satisfaction of what they're doing, because they're not getting paid in dollars. So I did that to just kind of supplement and really be able to provide the kind of life that I wanted for myself and my family. And I knew that there was no better business model out there for somebody who did not have any business experience at the time to speak of. That really was a door and an opening. And I know many of you listening to this are going to also be in that network marketing space currently or at some point in time. It's a beautiful model. People who don't know that just don't understand it. But it was rough for me at first. It was rough making that transition to having more of a business type mindset. But when I say rough, I should say it was a learning experience, an experience that I'm very, very grateful for. But like a lot of people, I kind of struggled at the beginning. I was only making maybe a little bit above my auto ship. Some months not even above my auto ship. I know some of you might be able to relate to that. But every failure is a teaching experience, or I don't like to even say failure because there's no such thing as failure, right? I mean, Oprah says it's really just steering you in another direction, and I agree with that. I agree that it always serves us. So it gave me a lot of tools, and it gave me a lot of education that now I'm able to use, and I'm able to teach people. And so, again, I'm very happy and grateful for that. I was introduced into online marketing in 2014 by mentors that I will forever be grateful for, who've taught me what it was to have a capture page and a lead page and what an email follow-up campaign even was. And now if I'm saying some things that you don't know, that's fine. It's not something that you need to know for what we're doing here today, but it is something in the online marketing world that I didn't discover until 2014. And I am so happy and so grateful that I have learned that. So with all my learning experiences and being able to put together a little bit of network marketing and a little bit of online marketing, I have recently been able to retire myself into a full-time laptop lifestyle. And I am over the top happy with that. I'm not going to say it's easy, but I'm going to tell you that for me, it's worth it. And for some of you listening to me, I know that you're going to think it's worth it as well. Don't know what your aspirations are. Your aspirations might be to just make some extra money. But something tells me that if you're here, having seen that the topic was six figures, that you're looking to do more than just make extra money. You're looking to change your lifestyle. You're looking to maybe even do this full time. And if you're already doing it full time, you're looking to be able to get those kind of numbers that you usually hear only from your upline or people who have just been in the industry forever. And you do hear about people who are doing it in a shorter period of time, but maybe you're not always quite sure how they're doing it. And then you may be hearing a lot about their paid strategies and just not having that kind of capital to be able to invest into their paid strategies. So that's why this is absolute gold for you. So just a little bit about starting my new life. I won't go into that too much, but I'm extremely happy, and I was able to start that a couple months ago and spend my summer as a result in New Mexico and Arizona, actually working full-time with some business mentors that I am very grateful for. I learned so much in the summer. It was really quite a crash course in business and marketing, and I'm forever grateful for that. So that middle picture in there kind of tells you a little bit about things that I love. I love fitness. I love yoga, tree pose. That's very stabilizing, very grounding. And where I was there, just the energy was really high there in Sedona. Some of the people that you see me in the pictures with are leaders in the online marketing space that I was able to meet over the summer, and very grateful for that. The little picture down here, like where my cursor is, was the exact moment that I realized that I could work literally from anywhere. So I left my home office and I went out to the pool, and I actually did some work. Of course, I swam a little bit and did some work a little bit, but the fact that I could do that was something that was such a foreign concept to me just not too long ago. I thought that, you had to be really, really special to be able to be in that position. And what I found out is you don't have to be really, really special, but you have to take very specific action. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. And having gotten myself in this position and having gotten this far in my dream, of course, it has put me in a position to dream some more and to dream bigger. So what you're seeing under here, or here, is my my dream under construction in Costa Rica, a condo. If you message me and you ask me about it, I can give you some information. I do not promote this, or it's no part of my business, but it's just a great opportunity. It's a beautiful condo that they're just breaking ground with, and doing this type of work and raising my business to the next level has allowed me to be able to dream to this level. And as a side note, the prices there are amazing, and it's beachfront, so it's not only going to be a dream come true, it's going to be an awesome investment. So that's a dream under construction. So here's a little bit about what you're going to see today as far as the results that can come from what I'm going to teach you. Here are some results from everyday people who implement these strategies, these non-paid strategies. A mom with 2 boys was able to make over $17,000 in just 2 months working part-time. So she's not in the position where she's doing it full-time at all. So you could imagine what that could have been potentially for her in 2 months if she were doing it full-time. But I understand some people love what they do in their jobs. A full-time engineer made $16,600 in 2 months working part-time as well. A personal trainer who had no previous marketing experience at all, in fact, business experience online at all, makes $28,500 his very first month in business, his very first 30 days in business using these strategies. A 23-year-old who's actually a construction worker with no previous marketing experience at all made $30,000 in his first month in business. A 17-year-old, 17 years old. I mean, what were you guys doing when you were 17 years old? I remember I was asking my dad for money to go out on a date, for angry money, just in case I got angry and I had to leave on my own. I was asking him for, a couple of dollars. And this 17-year-old went ahead and made $45,100 in 5 weeks with no previous marketing experience, all using unpaid strategies that I'm going to teach you today. So you let that sink in your mind a little bit. If these people are able to get these results using unpaid strategies, are you willing to implement the same strategies and see where it takes you, see what kind of results it's going to bring to you? And if you haven't already, I invite you to get a pen and paper and to definitely take notes. You can always message me and hit me up, and I will be more than willing to review any of this with you. But really, if you took the notes, you can go ahead and start implementing it immediately in your business. And that is my hope, and that is the whole intention of this webinar that I'm giving today. Okay, so before we go any further, and before I end up having the wrong people here, although I don't think so, I think I have the right people here. But I want to go ahead and say who this is not for. So if you fall in this category at all, I appreciate you stopping by. Stay connected with me if you like, but you're going to want to go ahead and jump off of this webinar. If you are a tire kicker, which means that you kind of just like to get information, but you are really not going to do anything with it, then there's no sense in staying on here. Because what I'm talking about are simple strategies, but you have to implement them, and you have to implement them systematically to really get those kinds of results. People who have difficulty making decisions. If you have a problem with decision making, then yes, this is not for you. This is for people who are going to take decisive action starting today and every day in their business, until they get the results that they want. Now, the thing about us, the thing about people like us, like you and me, is that when we get better, we still know that we have better to get, right? So we'll never stop making those kinds of decisions. So who is it, again, not for? People who are uncomfortable with stepping into their power. This webinar is the start of many of you stepping into your power. Because the things that you're going to duplicate are things that maybe you didn't think that you can do before. But you're going to find out that it's not a difficult thing to do. It's just a matter of making a decision. And when you make the decision, then your action can follow. People satisfied with the status quo should probably jump off, because this is going to put you into some positions that your neighbors are probably not putting themselves into, because your neighbor may not have the same dream. And if they don't have the same dream, they may not have the same drive, and so this is not for the person who's looking to walk along the beaten path, okay? So this is for people who are willing to blaze some new trails. People who make excuses, this is not for them, because there are things in here that if you don't want to do and you decide to make an excuse not to do it, you're not going to get the kind of results, and then you're going to want to probably blame it on someone else rather than taking full accountability for it and saying that it's something that you need to do differently. The good thing, and the thing that I want everybody to always be encouraged by, is that every next minute is literally a new start, okay? So when I say that, if you did that in the past, but you're prepared to not do that, then please do stay on. You're welcome to stay on, but just know yourself and know what you're willing to do. People who place no value on personal development are not going to find these strategies helpful, because this is going to grow you as a person in business and a person individually. And as mentally, it's going to take you to a different place to just be in this state of mind where you are going to carry out these strategies with no excuses. Okay, so now this is for you if you're a go-getter, which means that you are willing to take action. You're just looking for the action to take. You're just looking for somebody to tell you what kinds of things you can do in your business, and once they tell you and it resonates with you, then you're ready to go, because you know that you want something better for yourself and for your family. That's you. Welcome. I'm so glad to have you. If you're a leader, because leaders make decisions, right? So if you're a leader and you have a team and you have people that you know you're going to want to show these same strategies to, because the fact that you can use these in your business. If you are in a multi-level marketing company and you have a team below you, you're going to want to teach your entire team these strategies, because if all of them implement that, could you imagine the team growth? Could you imagine the lives that are going to be changed? And you're, as a leader, you're going to take this to them and you're going to teach this to them. Now, of course, when I say, what about if they all did that? Well, there's something called the Pareto principle that tells you that probably about 20% will actually do it, but 20% is more than enough to make some millionaires in this business, okay? All right, so if you're willing to step out of your comfort zone, this is also for you, because you're going to be doing some things that maybe you hadn't done before on social media, or you hadn't thought about, or you just didn't see it that way. But you're going to step out now and you're going to start taking some uncomfortable action. But the thing about uncomfortable action is that it will always grow you as a person, right? You've heard that saying that nothing good grows in comfort zones. So you're willing to step out. You also have to be willing to expose yourself and actually be social on social media. Because remember, these are strategies for generating six-figure incomes on social media. So you can't hide back there. You can't say that, you're one of those private people, you don't like to post anything. That's not going to quite work with these strategies. You got to be willing to put yourself out there and actually be social, actually socialize with people. Okay? If you didn't do that before, it's okay. You have no obligation to be the same person that you were 10 minutes ago. You get to change. You get to make it brand new every single time that you make a decision. Okay, and you will do videos. A lot of people don't like that. A lot of people don't like coming out in front of the camera and actually doing videos, and they're way too harsh on themselves, because people do want you to succeed. A lot of people focus on haters and they talk about haters and they post about haters and all that. And there might be a few very bitter people who are unhappy with their lives, but for the most part, people do want to see you succeed. So when you go on video, they're not looking for you to falter or stumble or stutter or whatever else. They're looking for what you have to say. And that's going to help them connect with you. So you got to be willing to do videos, and it's okay. There's no passing grade for videos. And if you're willing to convey and share your passion with others in a very strategic way, okay? So you always want to be yourself. You always want to be able to show your personality. You want people, social media is like if you are introducing to yourself to people each and every time you post, okay? And so you want to be able to convey what you're about and share your passions with people. And if you're one of those people who say, I'm just going to do that for my very close circle, my friends and family, then these strategies are not going to work for you, okay? But if you want six-figure incomes, if you want to have leads, if you want to take your business to the next level, then you've got to be willing to do some things that maybe don't come naturally to you. But that's okay. We're growing. Okay, so here's what we're going to cover today. We're going to cover how to brand yourself as an expert on social media, and believe it or not, you guys are experts in whatever it is that you are in business about. You're an expert. You know, if you're in some company with certain product, you know, that's a weight loss product or whatever, you're an expert compared to me on that product and what that product does. Now I'm going to talk to you about how to talk to people about that. But you are an expert, and then you're an expert in a whole bunch of other things too. You're an expert on life, because your lessons, the lessons that you have learned, are not necessarily the same lessons I have learned, and together you give a little bit of your expertise, I give a little bit of my expertise, the next person gives a little bit of their expertise, and together, you know, we weave that, and that's how we as a society grow. So you are an expert. Now you just need to brand yourself that way on social media. I'm also going to teach you how to connect with the right people, your ideal client, okay? Because if you're not getting sales and you're talking to friends and family and you're not getting the kind of sales that you're looking for, chances are there's nothing wrong with your product. There's nothing wrong with you. It's just that they are not your ideal client. They're not the people who are looking for what you have. So I'm going to show you how to connect with the right people. Then how do you promote curiosity in order for them to ask you what you do, okay? Because the worst thing is to be considered harassing or having people not want to take your call or not want to respond to you because they think that you're going to pitch them something. You're only trying to build your business. You have the best intentions. You think it's going to be something that's helpful to them. You're also trying to help your family. You're trying to change your life. You're taking initiative. All of these are great things, but you don't want to come across as harassing people about it. You want them to ask you about it. It's the difference. It's why people don't feel as standoffish when they go into a mall and look for a beauty product compared with when their neighbor or their sister brings some beauty products. It's because at that point when they go into the mall, they're looking for it. They're curious. They want to know what's out there. They want to know what's this thing going to do for them. Okay, so you want to have that same kind of effect where people want to kind of know what you're doing, what you're into, what's that going to do for them, what's it going to look like for them, how is it going to help them, and then they get curious enough to ask you about it. And then you also want to systemize your social media to ensure that you have an endless flow of quality leads, and you want to do that for free to the best extent possible until you're ready to scale up. I am a big proponent of paid traffic. It's what's going to take a lot of people to that seven-figure level, but not a lot of people are in that position to start there, right? We all have to start somewhere else, and we all have to build. So until you're in that position, using these strategies for free is really going to be, should be a priority for you. And then you can scale up once you have more, but you never stop using these strategies even when you have that. Because most businesses of, well, not most, all businesses of all sorts, real estate, insurance, car salesmen, and then certainly network marketers and online marketers, leads are the lifeblood. So you want to be able to systemize it so that you're not worried about whether or not you're going to have leads to educate on your opportunity or on your product. you want to make sure that that is ongoing. So I'm going to show you how to systemize that. Okay, so starting with how to brand yourself as a social media, as an expert on social media. The number one thing, and this might seem really obvious, but it's not as obvious to some people as it should be. Step one is to optimize your profile. So take a look at these two profiles. You'll recognize one of them. The one on the left is obviously mine. The one on the right is a true friend request that I received. Now, of course, I am looking to connect with people that are sort of interested in the same kind of things that I am, which is what everybody's interested in connecting with. And what does this profile tell me about what this person is even about? I know nothing about what this person is about, right? And so, I mean, I can go in there and I can search in the about section and all of that, but most of us are not going to do that. Most of us are busy. We're not going to do that. And I'm not going to say that yours looks anything like this, because I assume that if you're in business, you know better than to do this. But this is a real profile. So when people see these two friend requests come in, and they're looking for people to connect with that might also be business-minded professionals or experts in their given niche, which one do you think people are going to assume is the expert, right? Just based on the fact that it's given a good presentation. So here's what you should never use. And unfortunately, I do see a lot of my friends with these. And I typically will not accept a friend request without knowing the person personally if it has any of these things in it. And I think if you ask industry-wide, you'll hear the same thing. Okay, these are things you should never use no matter how much you love it. No product photos. So as much as you love your business, as much as you put your heart and soul behind your business, do not put any product photos. Don't put any pets. You can love your pets and you can have pictures of your pets in your posts, but don't make it your profile picture. Even your children, okay? Your children does not, you can love your children. Everybody loves their children. And we love people who love their children because it tells us that they're human. But when we see a profile pic of a child and then this person wants to talk to us possibly about business or anything professional or anything where they're an expert, there's a disconnect there, okay? Social media is not that different from person to person. So we got to be thinking about that. Food, you can love food, but please do not make that your profile picture. Don't make cars your profile pictures. Scenery, I did that. My very first profile picture that I ever had on Facebook was of Diamond Head. And why was that? Because I love that place. I loved Hawaii. I loved that trip. At that time, I was like, I don't really need people to see what I look like on social media. I think maybe I had like 30 friends and they were all actually family. And so I just put that up there, you know, and unfortunately that nobody's going to connect with that unless another mountain is looking at me. They're not going to connect with a Diamond Head profile pic. So please don't do it. And no company logos. I see that so much. I won't even mention the businesses. Some seem to do it more than others. So I don't know if it's something that they're teaching or what, but no company logos. And the reason for that, guys, is that you want to brand yourself. You never want to brand your company because people do business with people that they know, like, and trust. They don't do business with companies. The only people who do business with companies are people who are in the company, right? Other than that, we're looking for people that we know, like, and trust. And that's what a brand is. A brand is you conveying who you are so that people can feel connected with you and they can feel like they know you. They can determine if they like you, and it's up to you to make them trust you. But that puts you in a position to do that when you brand yourself. When you brand your company, people know nothing about you behind it, and they don't know why they should buy it from you as opposed to, you know, their cousin twice removed who also sells the same products in the same company, right? So when you brand yourself, you're setting yourself apart from others. The other good reason to brand yourself is that businesses are not lifelong. And if anybody tells you that, they are probably your upline, and they are probably afraid that you're either going to leave, stop working, get distracted, and therefore make less money for everybody in the team, right? Those are the only people that will want you to be lifelong indebted to a business. That's the old model. Now there are so many ways to systemize businesses to where people can have more than one, but you don't want to confuse people, right? You don't, and if you've been branding yourself as that business, and then all of a sudden you switch to another business, people are confused, people feel disjointed, people feel like they don't even know who you are. Whereas if you had already been just conveying who you were all along, then it's just a matter, you might as well just say that you had switched jobs. It's no big deal. It happens, right? And so think about those things when you're thinking about your company and how you're putting that forward. So quick reference profile optimization tips. Feel free to take pictures of this or take notes, like I said before, whichever one helps you. But your profile picture, make sure it's clear, high quality photo of your face. Okay. I got a friend request of somebody who had zoomed in so tightly to their face, though it was just a cheekbone. I mean, maybe it was a nice cheekbone, but it was just a cheekbone. Obviously, I didn't accept that request because I could see nothing else. And so I didn't feel like I knew anything about this person to make me want to even search further into their profile. And please smile, because smiling is that universal symbol of friendliness that you'll find in the darkest jungles where everybody seems to know that a smile is pleasant, a smile is welcoming, a smile is positive, kind of puts you in a good frame of mind, a good space to be in. So please consider smiling. Some people don't like their teeth and they kind of do a closed smile, and that's fine. Just something that looks really, really pleasant. That's your opportunity to introduce yourself to the people that you're going to be hopefully friend requesting and interacting with. Your cover photo, make sure that it's in some way lifestyle oriented. So this is where, if you had a vacation pic that you really like, or some kind of sports recreation, scenery, you can put all of those there. Cars, something that's lifestyle oriented, because that's where people look to when they're looking at what means a lot to this person. And of course, this is quick reference, right? Because they looked at your profile and now they're seeing your cover pic before they go any further. So that's a good place to put something, but try to also make it as high quality as possible, because you're not there just to socialize. You're also there to present yourself as an expert and a business person. And that's how you want to be regarded. So make sure that it's also high quality. And as I show there on the slide, it can be related to what you do, you love, you enjoy. Just letting people know a little bit about you. Your bio section. In this section, please, again, do not put your business. Don't put your company. Just create curiosity. Tell a story about yourself. Tell a story about something that's important to you. Tell a story about what you do, but don't tell people the company that you do it with, okay? Because that, for a lot of people, is enough to back away, because people don't want to feel like there's an impending pitch coming, okay? And it also leaves nothing else for them to want to find out about you or to uncover about you if you put it all there in the bio section. Put enough to show that you are in business and possibly what you do and how you help people, how you serve people, but don't tell them what your product is, what your exact business is. And it's okay to put a call to action there. Like, you can invite people to connect with you, to message you, to interact with you. You can invite people to do that. Or you can even invite them to ask you what you do in that bio section if you wanted to, okay? But as long as you haven't put everything else, everything about you in that section, just enough to create curiosity. Key things to think about: make sure that it's visually appealing. And remember that this is your best chance for a good first impression. Just like if you were walking into a room full of people in a business setting or even in a social setting, you want to look your best. And that's how you want to conduct yourself as a business person using social media. Your goal is to create curiosity so people will want to learn more about you, and determine your ideal customer or client or buyer, however you want to put that, and keep that in mind when creating your social media persona. Make sure that you consider all of these things. If you have not already determined an ideal customer client profile, that's an exercise that I invite you to do as a business person no matter what. And I suspect that if you're here, you probably have done that. If you haven't done it, no better time than right away after we get off of this webinar for you to put together an ideal customer client avatar. Think about what they like, what they spend their time doing, what's important to them, because that's going to help you connect with them. That's going to help you market to them. All right, now how to connect with the right people. Again, that ideal client, that avatar that you've created, the person that you know is going to want and benefit from what it is that you offer. For a marketer, remember that social media is an advertising network disguised as a social network. So everything you do on social media as a marketer, as a business person, is with that in mind. I'm not saying that you can't have a whole bunch of fun on there, because I do. I have a whole bunch of fun on there. But I also make sure that everything that I post, I am thinking about my ideal client, my ideal buyer on there when I post it, because I understand just this fact, okay? It's an advertising network. So now think about, where is your ideal client and customer found? Okay, this is going to tell you where to go to look for them. So once you've determined who your ideal client is and what their avatar looks like, you can start going into groups by the buyer's interests, their behaviors, occupations, etc. Even things like yoga. Let's just say that your business is somehow fitness related. And so you want to look at people who are very health conscious. And so you might go into a yoga group, because yoga people are very health conscious in the nicest of ways, I have to say, but I'm biased. So they usually eat well, they usually care about what they're putting into their body, and you know they're going to be doing a lot of committed exercise. And the same thing with fitness people, you know, bodybuilders and so on. So you could go into groups and definitely start friend requesting in there of people. You can even just go in. Let me show you, actually. Let me give you an example. So hopefully I can get in and out of here pretty easily. All right. So here is my Facebook profile. So I'm going to give you an example. Let's see. What should we look up? We can look up yoga. And here's a public group called Space Coast Yoga. And this is assuming that my business would be related to the people who might be found here. Because remember, you're going to be thinking about your ideal client, your ideal buyer, and thinking about where they spend time. Okay, so if they spend time in yoga groups, then this is an example of what you can do. You can go, I clicked on the group, I just searched it up in the search bar, then I clicked on the group. I'm going to go to members. Ahaha, I'm a member of the group. Okay, and a lot of my friends are, because I love yoga. But then we come down here and we see some people who are not my friends. So if I had a fitness related product and I needed people who cared about fitness or cared about health, if I was into health and nutrition, I would sort of hover over their profile. And this is a nice looking one, for example. And so I might just go ahead and friend request her. Here's another one, Abraham Bloomer. Well, he likes his dog and he likes what looks like fishing, but I can see he's a field service engineer at Dish Network. So, I could make a decision if these people fit my client avatar, my buyer avatar. So that's just one example. So then you can also look at your interests. So something else that you might be interested, like I'm interested in business. Let's see. Okay, maybe I'll do marketing. Oh, well, here's a good one. I'm sure all of us are part of this one. Network Marketing Pro. So you might want to go in there. Hey guys, sorry about that. Something happened with my connection and we got cut off. So I'm going to try to get back to where I was. I was giving the example of Eric Worre based on the fact that that's an interest that many of us would have. And so just another trick of what you can do to find your ideal buyer in here is that you can go to a post, and of course it's a post that you care about or that it resonates with you, and you want to be able to give a valuable comment on that post. And the reason you're doing that is not so much for Eric Worre. I don't even know if he reads that. I'm sure he just has a social media manager who takes care of that. But it's for the other people who are also into network marketing. And when you, again, put a post that's thoughtful and full of value, immediately that's the impression that you're giving them of you. So quite possibly that will start a connection that will either have them send you a friend request, or you get to interact and you get to send them a friend request. For example, you might want to read this gentleman's comment and make a reply to his. And then if you feel as though this is a person who does also fit your ideal client avatar, you might want to go ahead and add him as a friend. Okay? And you can do that for different people. You can do it for Tony Robbins, Bob Proctor, people who really think or who have followers who think in terms of self-development, bettering themselves, business, anything that you're interested in, as well as what you think that your ideal client or buyer might be interested in. Okay, so I sure hope I'm going to be able to edit this video to get you guys right back in the right place. So going back to my PowerPoint here. So again, make it your goal to send no less than 30 friend requests per day. So, and this is how you're going to do it. You're going to do it based on the things that I just mentioned. It's okay, of course, to send friend requests to people who don't fit your client avatar, because it is a free world still. But when you're keeping in mind the fact that this is a advertising network, like I said, disguised as a social network, you always want to be advertising to what you think is going to be your ideal client or buyer. It's not exclusive to them, but if you let your friends list get filled with people who are not, then you're not going to get the kind of results that you're hoping for. So keep that in mind. So after you go through it and you request people who you think might fit your buyer avatar, then go make sure that you continue the goal of developing relationships with them. This is not about selling them, okay? This is about developing relationships with them. We're not at that point to be selling yet. So now that you've friend requested them, they've accepted your friend request, what do you say to them? The first thing you should do is message them and simply thank them for the connection and wish them a good day, for example. You want to do something that's positive. You want them to feel good about having interacted with you. You want them to think they made a good decision when they decided to accept your friend request, okay? You definitely do not want to pitch them at that point. I cannot tell you how many friend requests I get and I accept, and immediately before the person has made any kind of connection with me, there's a link in the message. I don't even look at those. And I'm sure you guys don't either. Even being in the industry, you don't even look at those, because it's not a matter of what that business is about, because you could have been pitched the same business, 14 different times. It's about who is connecting with you, who is delivering this information to you. Is this somebody you want to work with? Is this somebody you want to be like? Do you feel like this person is going to be good in your inner circle? If we get to be the sixth person, or we're like the closest 5 people in our circle, whatever they are, will be the 6th. Is that going to be the kind of circle that we want? These are all the kinds of things that we all consider, in a moment before we decide to even look at businesses, right? And so it's the same thing the other way around. Do not instantly put a link in there. Keep it really, really pleasant and really, really short, unless they engage you further. Okay? Be authentic. Use your own words. Use your own personality. It's okay for you to emulate maybe the methods or the strategies of somebody else or that's getting great results. In fact, that's smart to do. Emulate what they're doing, but do not try to take on their personality. Do not try to be them. Okay, because people are going to see through that, and they're going to know they're not actually connecting with the real you. That's a gift that all of us have as humans. And so they're going to feel like maybe you have something to hide. And that's going to take away that trust element of the know, like, and trust requirement for somebody to do business with us. Develop rapport by connecting on common interests. That one's very easy. That's what you would do at a water cooler at work. Or, just somebody comes into work and they're new. You're going to immediately start asking them questions like, do you have any kids? You like pets? All those kinds of things, because you're looking to where you could connect with. On social media, you can see that. You can look through their profile. You can see whether they're dog lovers, cat lovers, whether they have kids. And if that's a good connecting point, if that's an authentic connecting point for you guys, build rapport using that in your conversation. Okay? Don't be forced, even though it's on text. Don't think that very first time that you talk to this person is the time that you must get them sold, okay, on whatever it is that you have. That mentality is going to send off the wrong energy. I promise you that people can sense that kind of energy, and nobody likes it. Okay, don't send out scripted messages. Even if you're sending out 30 or 50 in one day, don't cut and paste them. If you have a general framework and you want to just kind of change up the words a little bit, go ahead and do that. And the reason for that is that people can detect insincerity and agendas a mile away. They don't like it. So that's kind of like when somebody walks up to you, you go into a store and one of the store clerks immediately walks up to you before you've even gotten all the way through the threshold and asks you if you need any help. Even if you don't know where something is, you're most likely to say, no, thank you. I'm just looking. Even if you have no idea where what you're actually looking for is, it's just a natural defense mechanism that we have to say, please give me some space, please back off, don't try to impose anything on me, I will find my way through this. It's the same thing with people and agendas, okay? They can see it coming, and no matter what you have, they want no part of it at that moment. Okay, because they're going to want to just find their way through it. That natural defense mechanism is gonna go off for them. So don't do it. Excuse me. Do not mention your product, your company, or attempt to pitch them in any way during that first contact. I kind of talked about that already because it's a pet peeve. So I already talked about that, but it's so incredibly important. And even if you think that you're sounding natural, but if you say something to the effect of, the person asks you, how are you? And you say, I'm doing fine because I had my energy drink from such and such, which has all of the macronutrients and micronutrients and bioflavonoids that keep me energized. Okay. People see right through that. So again, don't do it. Okay. This is not the time. There's going to be a time, and this is not it. Okay, and nor is that ever going to be the way, by the way. All right, so just think of what you're saying to them as being in a party, mingling through a crowd. Social media is that moment when you're walking through a party. Okay, people are they already know people. They're kind of already in their cliques of interests and things that they're looking for, moods that they're in that day. You don't know, you know. So you just want to be mingling through, interacting, but remember to be genuinely interested whenever you connect with somebody, because if you're not genuine, they're not going to want to connect any further. All right, how to promote curiosity in order for them to ask you what you do, because that's what you want. You don't want to be that person that they avoid or they don't respond to because they think you're about to pitch them on something and they don't want to be pitched. So you want them to see what you're doing and to want to find out more and to come to you, because when they come to you, they become that lead that comes to you. And if you've been doing the strategies and you've been doing enough of it consistently, those are going to be coming in on a daily basis, and every day you're going to have people to connect with and to follow up with. So the name of that game is attraction marketing. And I know that most of you, if not all of you, have probably heard of that. But that is the #1 way to use social media marketing to get leads and to eventually get buyers and customers, is through attraction marketing. And I put this picture here because this picture in some ways elicits questions. People, whether they ask me or not, are wondering, well, how'd she get that car? What did she do to be able to get that car? You know, is that something that I could possibly do? And you may sit back and watch, but you know, if I'm inviting to them, if I'm friendly to them, they may come out and ask. If they feel like, you know, I'm a friend, they may come out and ask. And a lot of people do. So attraction marketing basics. Develop and post self-branded content whenever possible, even with quotes. And let me go back to my page and show you an example of that. And I'm just going to keep praying that I do not lose internet connection again and lose you guys and have to figure out video editing. Okay, so going back to my profile. Okay, going to go to my photos and show you guys an example of what I mean. Okay, so this one right here, this is a quote that I love from Bob Proctor. I have an enormous desire to add increase in everyone's life. I want to leave everyone with the impression of increase. I want them to feel better because they have come in contact with me. That is very true. That resonates with everything that I'm about. I told you I was in the helping professions before, and even now my goal is to add increase into everyone's life that I meet in some way. And some of it's going to be business, some of it's just going to be simple encouragement, simple inspiration. That is my true goal. So I put that quote there because it resonates with me, but I put it with a picture of me because I am branding myself, for example. Okay, so that's just one way that you can do it. Here's another one. Same thing, love this quote. 10 years from now, make sure that you can say you chose your life, not that you settled for it. And I can safely say that you guys are choosing your life by being here because you're prepared to take some action. And I'm sure I have some more in there somewhere, but I won't make you guys have to go through all that. But that gives you the gist of what I'm talking about as far as branding. Those are not my quotes. There are some in here that I have that are my quotes, and on those I either have my picture or I have a logo. But you know, just anything that associates my post with my brand. And that is something that you guys want to make sure that you're incorporating as well. Post content that evokes emotion and resonates. You want people to feel something from your post. One thing that you want to always remember is that emotion sets things in motion. So we always want to make people feel something. We want to make them feel good. We want to make them feel happy. We want to make them feel sometimes sad even, okay? Because those are natural human emotions. And when I feel that, and when you feel that, and when we both feel that about the same thing, that's a natural human connection. That's a bond in a lot of ways. So sometimes I will post things like, you know, there's some charitable things that I feel very strongly about. I might post something that's really sad in another part of the world, And then other people are going to look at that, and they're going to feel sad, or they're going to feel empathy for those people. And we're going to share in our empathy. And even that causes a connection. It's not not a good feeling that we were both sad. It wasn't a happy feeling. That everything has to be happy. It has to be human, and it has to be connected. And then let them into your life and dreams by showing them the recreation, vacation, family, even some seemingly random moments from your day. Now, I'm not a big fan of those pictures of your food that you're eating, okay? I am not a big fan of that, but that doesn't mean that your ideal buyer is not. And even if I'm your ideal buyer and I see that, if that one doesn't connect with me, that's okay. I'm going to scroll. But you know what? There might be somebody else who connects with you. The mere fact that you did that might be something that they do. And that totally resonates with them. And so, don't be afraid to do things like that, because what you're doing is you're letting us into your life. It's almost as though we spent some time with you. And the more we feel like we spent some time with you, the more we feel like we know you. So there's that know, like, trust again, right? And do some videos. Videos are powerful because people feel more connected when they can both see and hear you, as in real life, right? Okay, so if you're talking to somebody on the phone only, you can't wait until the day that you kind of see them in person. All right, and if you only see them in pictures, you can't wait until the day that you can actually talk with them. And video is kind of that medium when it comes to social media. And Facebook Lives are right now the #1 tool due to organic reach and two-way interaction. So I think everybody on the planet knows what a Facebook Live is at this point. But if you don't, it's just something that allows you to literally start recording where you are, and it's in real time, and there's a place for people to comment, to ask you questions, to say something about what you're doing, to give you an emoticon about what you're doing, and then people feel that two-way interaction. You can answer questions that way and get feedback, give feedback. And again, it's almost like having a conversation. So if you haven't been using those, add those to your agenda. Some other examples of what you can use as far as attraction marketing content, because again, the other way to look at this is that these are always speaking for you. These are things that people can look at even when you've gone to sleep and they're still online scrolling. It's almost as though they're having a conversation with you. So make sure that you're posting things that are inspirational and motivational, funny or emotional content, again, making them feel something. Niche specific business content, but no product pictures at all, please. Okay, so if it's something, if you're into fitness or you're into some kind of nutritional company, talk about something having to do with health and the reason why you're passionate about health, or something that you're passionate about related to your product, but don't put your product picture there, because people aren't going through their newsfeed looking to buy, right? I think I said that earlier in the webinar, that people don't like to be sold, but they do like to buy, okay? But people aren't looking there to buy. They don't even know that they're gonna wanna buy from you when they start going through, okay? So that's where all the curiosity comes up. Put some personal content in there and some lifestyle and business pictures, lifestyle and business posts that kind of say what you're thinking, what you've learned, what your opinion is. Opinions are okay because we all have them. And it's human to have them. So you put them on there. Some people will agree with you, some people won't, but it will also initiate conversation. Video content, same thing, lifestyle and business, just in a more personable way. Educational content. So if you've learned something new that day that really struck you, go ahead and share it with people. Help them to learn something too. The idea is that you want them to feel that whatever you gave them added some value to their day, to their life, to their way of thinking. And hopefully if you did a good job of selecting these people, you have a lot of things in common, and so that it's really going to resonate with both of you. So now I told you how to find these leads. I told you how to communicate and get a relationship started with them. So how do you systemize this in your social media to ensure that you have that endless flow of quality leads and that you're doing it all for free? So the key to that is going to be, the key to anything really, is discipline, organization, and consistency in these strategies, making sure to use these on a consistent basis. So here's a game plan. Please take a screenshot of this. Since I don't know how fast you write, whether you'll be able to take notes on this, but this is very, very important. Plan to post 6 to 8 times a day. I don't care who tells you that that is overkill when it comes to social media, remembering that this is your advertising network first and foremost, disguised as a social media network. Post 6 to 8 times a day. This is your television show. This is you showing people who you are. And you need to be showing up in their feeds. 6 to 8 times a day, the type of content mixed up. Don't do business, and don't do only inspiration and nothing else. Don't do just your lifestyle pictures. Mix it up. Okay, and use a schedule like Hootsuite or Buffer if necessary. So if you find that posting 6 to 8 times a day is difficult for you because maybe you work still, and even just as a matter of efficiency, you can pick one day, use these schedulers, and sit down and get all your posts done for the week. That's not to say that if something random comes to you and you feel like you want to share it with the people that you know are going to benefit, you can go ahead and just go out of your schedule and do something like that. Don't be, overly rigid about this. You don't need to be. But make sure that you are at least planning 6 to 8 posts a day. Request no less than 30 new qualified friends per day. And of course, qualified meaning that they appear to be your ideal buyer. No less than 30 each and every day. Choose your time of day and do that consistently. The next day, or maybe later that day, depending on when you've done it, you're going to introduce yourself to everybody who has accepted you as a friend. You're going to introduce yourself the way that I showed you. You're going to interact with your audience on your posts as well as theirs. This is a two-way street. So it's not like you just put all your content out and when they post, you just kind of scroll by and look at another post or whatever. You're going to stop just like you would in person if somebody spoke to you, and you're going to reply to them. You're going to answer them. You're going to acknowledge the fact that they had a thought or had something that they wanted to add or interact with you on. Okay, and you're going to do that with theirs too. You're not just looking for the interaction on yours. And then each and every one of those posts that you put out, if a person likes it and it was something business-oriented, don't you think that it's possible that they're interested in what you're doing? So then you can just reach out. You can just say something like, hey, thanks for liking my post. Thanks for your support on my post. And that will get a conversation started as well. And so that's another possibility for a lead. Okay. Make sure that you deliver value and build relationships through each and every post and comment that you make, okay? And that's very important because value and relationships is what is going to drive these strategies completely. You got to be adding something of worth to them, something that's valuable, and they got to feel like they have a relationship with you for that, to make them go past the next point of inquiring with you as to what you do, or wanting to be like you, wanting to sort of work with you or be around you some more, or just to trust you enough when you say, hey, I have something that I think you're really going to like. For them to be able to take your opinion on that and to take your recommendation, which is what a lot of us do. We're simply recommending things that we think are going to help, but we need to get past that barrier, and that's the way we do it. Position yourself as a solution to their pain, because unfortunately pain motivates more than pleasure. So lots of times I see posts like with money and it's all spread out, and they're like, this is all the money that I got, and let's basically, if you want this money, contact me too. Well, some people are going to respond to that, but that's assuming that people are motivated by money. And I'll tell you what, people who don't have money, like money, might wish for some money, but they're kind of comfortable not having money, whether they want to admit that or not. So that's not going to take them out of their comfort zones and make them get to a place where they're going to sacrifice something and dive into something that they're not used to. But avoidance of pain will. So position yourself as a solution to their pain as soon as you see it, as you can identify it. And you will be able to identify it as you would in a friend if you're creating relationships. Your goal is also to move them from online to an offline conversation, especially if you're into high ticket sales. So anything I would say above $200. If that was where your product point is, then you're going to want to connect with them enough, get their curiosity enough to where they're asking you about it. And then you're going to want to jump on a phone conversation or Skype conversation or Facebook video or Zoom meeting or something. So again, now you're getting that more face-to-face content. If they're within your city, then of course you can do a lunch meeting or something like that, like you would for any other business. Okay, but that is really your goal, especially in high ticket. Okay. So now I've given you the strategies that are helping people earn incredible amounts of money in this business using unpaid strategies, so free strategies. So take a look at this screenshot. This individual just used the strategies that I just gave you. So how powerful could this be for you? What about if this was you? What about if it was you that was looking at $40,500 received in your back office because you followed these strategies? That would make it absolutely worth it for all of the consistency and all of the relationship building, wouldn't it? All right, so here's your next steps. Learn how to carry all of your friends through the proven process that will take them from just friends on social media to buyers, and then continue to serve them. Remember, the relationship is ongoing. In fact, if they become buyers, it sort of just changes the nature of your relationship, but the relationship is really just beginning because you want to make sure that you're continuing to serve them, because if they were your buyers once, they're going to continue being your buyers if you're doing things correctly. If they're your business partners, you're going to want to partner with them in this business and possibly others. You never know. So make sure that you support those relationships. And so I want to invite you to connect with me, and I can answer any questions that you may have had about any of the strategies that I gave you. And my Facebook personal page, you can just look up Susan Modeste and you'll find me. Also my fan page, Susan Modeste. My Instagram, Susan Modeste. You can see I'm not too creative about these names. Snapchat, Sue1112. And there's my email address. So some people are more comfortable with email. You can certainly try it. That way, I am very responsive to Facebook messaging. So I really would suggest that if you have any questions, that's the first way that you try to reach me. And so I invite your questions. I invite your connection with me. And I'm looking forward to that. So a couple other things before you go. I have a special offer for you. I would like to invite you to get more information about what takes that person from that relationship that you've taken the time to cultivate and nurture and establish, what takes that person from just being an ideal, possible, or prospective buyer to actually buying with you. That is a skill, and it's a skill that not everybody has, and it's a skill that everybody can learn. And between having those unlimited leads and learning how to take them through that sales process, there's going to be no end to the sales that you're going to make. And depending on your company's compensation plan, you can quickly get to those 6 figures. So the next step is for you to click the link and register for the webinar that I have posted, where you're going to learn from my mentors, my 7-figure mentors, exactly how to go through that process. Again, using just the unpaid strategies, where they will tell you how to take them from being just prospective to actually being buyers. And there's nobody better to learn that from than people who have already done it. And so I invite you to that. And I have a special gift for you. For anybody who trusts my recommendation enough to be on that webinar, I have a gift that is valued at $3,000 that you will get at the end of that webinar if you choose. Okay, so I look forward to you being on there, and please drop me a message. Let me know what you thought about this. And I will see you on that webinar, and I will let you in on the secret then. Thank you so much for your time, and I wish you much success, and I expect nothing less.